What if Ahsoka faced Anakin on Mustafar instead of Obi-Wan? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. Ahsoka Tano stands over Anakin Skywalker's burning body on the shores of a lava river. Her lightsabers tremble in her hands. Smoke rises from her damaged montrals. And the man who was once her master, her friend, her brother in all but blood, is screaming her name as the flames consume him. This is how it ends. Not with Obi-Wan Kenobi delivering the fatal blow, but with a Padawan forced to destroy her own master to save the galaxy. One decision, one fight, one impossible choice that changes everything we know about Star Wars. But how did we get here? How did Ahsoka Tano end up on Mustafar instead of Obi-Wan? The answer begins hours earlier, in the cold darkness of space. As Ahsoka feels the galaxy itself scream in agony, the dust of Ryloth still clings to Ahsoka Tano's boots as she climbs back into her freighter's cockpit. Behind her, a village of freed Twi'lek families waves their thanks, their homes no longer threatened by the slavers who terrorized them for months. She allows herself a small smile as the boarding ramp closes. This is what she does now. This is who she is. Not a Jedi, not a soldier, but something in between. A wanderer, a helper, someone who goes where the Republic won't and does what the Jedi can't. Her ship, a battered YT-1300 she calls the Wanderer, lifts off from the purple-tinged surface. As she breaks atmosphere, she checks her fuel cells and calculates her next jump. There's been chatter about separatist holdouts near Felucia, pirates harassing relief convoys in the Atravis sector. A dozen places that need someone who isn't afraid to blur the lines the Jedi drew so carefully in the sand. She's about to plot a course when the first warning sign hits her. It starts as a pressure behind her eyes, right where her montrals connect to her skull. A dull ache that quickly sharpens into something worse. Ahsoka gasps and grips the control yoke, her knuckles going white. Something is wrong. Very wrong. The Force itself feels like it's screaming. She closes her eyes and reaches out, trying to understand the disturbance. What she finds makes her blood run cold. Darkness. A wave of it spreading across the galaxy like ink dropped in water. And, at its center, a presence she knows as intimately as her own heartbeat. Anakin. But it's all wrong. The warmth that always defined him, that bright star of light and hope and raw power, it's being consumed, twisted, corrupted into something dark and hateful. No, not Sky Guy. It can't be. Her hands move on instinct. Pulling up the long-range comm array, she cycles through encrypted Jedi frequencies, the ones she technically shouldn't have access to anymore, but kept anyway. What she hears turns her stomach. Emergency broadcasts, distress calls, clone troopers reporting Jedi casualties across the entire galaxy, commanders she fought beside, soldiers she trusted with her life, executing their generals without hesitation. The words, Order 66, repeat like a death knell. She tries to reach Master Plo. Static. Master Shark T. Nothing. Kit Fisto. Dead air. Each silence is another dagger in her hearts. Then she catches a fragment of a transmission from Coruscant itself. The Jedi Temple is burning. Clone troopers, the 501st Legion specifically, storming the halls, and leading them, a dark figure with a blue lightsaber cutting down everyone in his path, even the younglings. Ahsoka's hands shake as she replays the partial holo recording someone managed to transmit before the signal cut out. The figure's face is partially obscured, but she doesn't need to see it clearly. She knows that stance, that fighting style, the way he moves through Form 5 with aggressive precision. It's Anakin, her master, her friend, the man who taught her everything she knows about being a warrior, about protecting the innocent, about never giving up. He's slaughtering children. She wants to deny it, wants to believe it's a trick, a clone, an imposter. But the Force doesn't lie. That dark presence consuming the light, it's him. It's really him. Her first instinct is to turn the ship around, to race back to Coruscant, to do something, anything. But what? The temple has fallen. The Jedi are being executed across the galaxy, and Anakin, somehow, is at the center of it all. Ahsoka's training takes over. She pushes down the panic, the grief, the overwhelming sense of loss. She needs information. She needs to understand what happened. How did this start? Why would Anakin turn on the Order? The Council didn't trust him. She knows that. They held him back, denied him the rank of master despite his obvious skill. But to fall to the dark side, to murder innocents? There has to be more to the story. She reaches deeper into the Force, following that corrupted thread of Anakin's presence. It's moving, leaving Coruscant behind and traveling through hyperspace. She focuses, using their bond, that connection forged through years of fighting side by side. Master and Padawan, teacher and student, brother and sister in all but blood. The bond has grown weaker since she left the Order, but it's still there, still strong enough for her to sense his trajectory. Mustafar. He's going to Mustafar, the volcanic mining world in the Outer Rim, a hellscape of lava and ash. Why there? What's on Mustafar that would draw him? Then she remembers the Separatist leadership, the last remnants of the droid army's command structure. If someone wanted to end the war completely, wanted to seize total control, they'd need to eliminate both sides, the Jedi and the Separatists. Palpatine. The name comes to her with sudden clarity. The Chancellor who always seemed too interested in Anakin, too friendly, too willing to bend the rules and grant special privileges. She'd always found something off about him, something that made her montrals itch when he was near. Obi-Wan had sensed it too, though they'd never spoken openly about their suspicions. If anyone could corrupt Anakin, could twist his fear and anger into something monstrous, it would be Palpatine. Ahsoka plots her course for Mustafar, her hands moving with grim determination. She doesn't know what she'll find there. Doesn't know if she can save him or if it's already too late. But she has to try. She owes him that much. She owes the memory of who he used to be, the man who saved her life on Christophsis, who taught her that rules were guidelines, not absolutes, who showed her that being a Jedi meant protecting people, not serving politicians. The journey through hyperspace feels both too long and too short. She spends the time preparing, checking her lightsabers, the green and blue blades she's carried since leaving the Order, meditating, trying to center herself for what's coming, and remembering. She can't help but remember. She thinks about their first meeting, how cocky she'd been, how skeptical he'd seemed, Two stubborn people forced to work together, who somehow became a perfect team. She remembers their early missions during the Clone Wars, the way he'd throw himself into impossible situations and expect her to keep up, how he pushed her, challenged her, made her better, the battles they fought together. Ryloth, Geonosis, Mandalore, the quiet moments between the chaos when he'd share bits of his past, talk about his mother, his fears, his dreams. She remembers the last time she saw him, when she left the Order after they expelled her. The hurt in his eyes when she walked away, the unspoken plea for her to stay. She'd told herself it was the right choice, that the Order was broken and she needed to find her own path. But part of her, a part she never acknowledged, wondered if she was abandoning him when he needed her most. Is this her fault? If she'd stayed, could she have prevented this? No. She can't think like that. Anakin made his own choices. Whatever pushed him to this, whatever fear or anger or pain drove him to fall, it was his decision. But maybe, just maybe, she can help him make a different choice now. Maybe their bond, their history, the connection they share, it can be enough to pull him back from the edge. The Wanderer drops out of hyperspace and Mustafar fills her viewport. The planet is exactly as forbidding as she remembers from intelligence briefings. A dark sphere wreathed in volcanic ash, its surface cracked with rivers of molten rock. The heat signatures are off the charts. This is a world where nothing should be able to live. Yet somehow, the Separatists chose it as their final stronghold. Perhaps they thought the hostile environment would protect them. They were wrong. Ahsoka brings her ship in low, using the ash clouds for cover as she approaches the main facility. It's a massive structure built on a collection platform suspended over a lava lake. The architecture is industrial. All hard angles and reinforced durasteel, designed to withstand the extreme temperatures. Her sensors pick up multiple power signatures. The facility is still active, or at least it was recently. She finds a landing platform away from the main entrance. A smaller dock that looks like it's used for supply shuttles. As the Wanderer's landing gear touches down, she feels the entire ship shudder from the ambient heat. The hull is already beginning to char, the paint bubbling and peeling. She'll need to make this quick, or she won't have a ship to leave in. Ahsoka takes a deep breath, centers herself, and draws her lightsabers. The weight of them is familiar, comforting. She's fought countless battles with these blades, faced down Sith assassins, dark side users, battle droids by the thousands. But she's never fought someone she loved before. Never had to raise her weapon against someone who meant more to her than almost anyone in the galaxy. The boarding ramp lowers and the heat hits her like a physical wall. It's oppressive, making every breath feel like she's inhaling fire. Her montrals immediately begin to ache from the temperature differential. The air tastes of sulfur and ash. She ignites both lightsabers, the blue and green blades, casting light in the hellish dimness, and moves into the facility. The corridors are empty and eerily quiet. Emergency lighting casts everything in a red glow that makes her think of blood. Her boots click against the metal floor, the sound echoing in the silence. Then she starts seeing the bodies. Battle droids first, scattered everywhere. B-1S, B-2S, even the heavier droidekas, all of them sliced cleanly in half or crushed by overwhelming force. She recognizes the technique. The precision cuts. The economy of movement. Anakin's style, refined and perfected over years of war. She moves deeper into the complex, following the trail of destruction. The bodies become more varied. Super battle droids torn apart. Security systems sliced from the walls. Blast doors cut open like tissue paper. And then she starts finding organic casualties. Neimoidians, Geonosians, Quarren, members of the Separatist Council, each one killed with brutal efficiency. No mercy, no hesitation, just execution. Ahsoka's stomach turns as she steps over the corpses. These were her enemies, yes. The people who'd helped plunge the galaxy into war. But they were also prisoners, defenseless, probably trying to surrender. This wasn't combat. This was murder. Cold, calculated, systematic murder. And Anakin did this. The man who once told her that a Jedi's job was to protect life, not take it needlessly. She reaches a central control room and stops. The door has been blown open, the edges still glowing red hot. Inside, she can see more bodies. The entire Separatist leadership, slaughtered. And standing among them, his back to her, is Anakin Skywalker. He's changed. His Jedi robes are gone, replaced by dark leather and cloth. His posture is different, more predatory. And in his hand, ignited and casting bloody shadows across the walls, is a lightsaber with a crimson blade. For a moment, neither of them moves. Ahsoka's hearts are pounding so hard, she can hear them in her montrals. This is it, the moment of truth. She takes a breath, deactivates her lightsabers, and steps into the room. Her voice, when she speaks, is steady, despite the fear churning in her gut. Anakin. He doesn't turn immediately. She sees his shoulders tense, his free hand clenching into a fist. When he finally does face her, she barely recognizes him. His eyes are wrong. Instead of the clear blue she knows so well, they're yellow, burning with Sith corruption. His face is drawn, older somehow, marked by stress and pain, and something darker. But underneath all of that, she still sees him. Still sees Sky Guy. Snips. His voice is different too. Harder. There's an edge to it she's never heard before. A barely controlled rage simmering beneath every word. What are you doing here? This doesn't concern you. Everything you do concerns me. She keeps her voice level, non-threatening, the way she'd talk to a cornered animal. You're my master, Anakin, my friend. Whatever's happening, we can fix this together, he laughs. But there's no humor in it, just bitterness. Your master? The Jedi made sure I'd never be anyone's master. They held me back, denied me the rank, treated me like a child despite everything I accomplished. And you left. You walked away when I needed you most. She feels the accusation like a physical blow but doesn't let it show. I left because the order was broken, because they valued their rules over justice. But I never left you. Anakin, I'm here now, aren't I? You shouldn't be. He turns fully to face her now, the red lightsaber held loosely at his side. This is bigger than you understand. Bigger than the Jedi or the Republic. The Chancellor showed me the truth. The Jedi are traitors. They tried to assassinate him, tried to take over the Republic. I stopped them. I saved the galaxy. Ahsoka's mind races. the Chancellor, Palpatine. So, her suspicions were right. He's behind this somehow. Anakin, listen to yourself. Does that sound right to you? The entire Jedi Order, thousands of Jedi, including Master Yoda, all traitors? All of them tried to take over? Or is it more likely that one man, a politician who's been accumulating power for years, fed you lies? They're not lies. His voice rises, anger bleeding through. I saw it. Master Windu tried to kill the Chancellor. He was going to execute him without a trial. That's not the Jedi way. That's not justice. And what were you doing there? Why were you in the Chancellor's office? When the Jedi Council went to arrest him, she's pressing now, using her training, trying to get him to think critically. Did you know they were coming? Did Palpatine know? His expression flickers, uncertainty crossing his features for just a moment. Then it hardens again. You don't understand. None of you do. The Jedi are stuck in their ways, blind to the realities of power. The Chancellor sees clearly. He understands what it takes to bring peace. Through strength, through control, through absolute power. You sound like Count Dooku. Ahsoka takes a careful step closer. Remember him? The Sith Lord, we fought together. He said the same things. That the Republic was corrupt, that democracy had failed, that only through authoritarian control could the galaxy know peace. We stopped him, Anakin, together, because we knew he was wrong. Dooku was a fool. Anakin's hand tightens on his lightsaber. He served his master blindly, never understanding the full scope of the plan. But I understand. I see what needs to be done. The Jedi are gone. The Separatists are gone. Now, there can finally be peace. Order. Security. At what cost? She gestures at the bodies around them. You killed them all, Anakin. The Separatist leaders, sure, but also the Jedi. Master Shakti, Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, and the younglings. Children who never did anything wrong, who were just learning to use the Force. You murdered them. She sees him flinch at that. A crack in his armor. They would have grown up to be Jedi, to perpetuate the same failed system, to hold people back, like they held me back, like they held us both back. Snips. Don't you see? We're free now, free to do what's necessary, without their rules, their restrictions, their narrow view of the Force. This isn't freedom. Her voice is firm but gentle. You're not free, Anakin. You're a slave, Palpatine's slave. He's used your fear, your anger, your pain, and he's turned you into a weapon, a tool for his ambitions. She pauses, watching his face carefully. This is about Padme, isn't it? He told you he could save her. His reaction is immediate and visceral. His entire body goes rigid, and for a moment, his eyes flash even brighter yellow. How do you know about that? About Padme and me? I've known for a long time. Ahsoka's voice softens. You weren't as subtle as you thought. And I never said anything because I understood. You love her. That's not a crime, no matter what the code says. She's going to die. The words come out almost desperate. I've seen it. In my visions, in my dreams. She's going to die in childbirth, and I'm going to lose her. The Chancellor showed me the power to prevent it. the power to save the people I love. The Jedi couldn't teach me this. They forbid it. But the dark side offers no such limitations. Ahsoka's hearts break at the fear in his voice, the raw terror. She remembers Anakin's history, how he lost his mother, how that loss nearly destroyed him. The thought of losing Padme too, it's breaking him apart. And Palpatine, that manipulative bastard, he's exploiting that fear. Anakin, think about what you're saying. She keeps her voice calm, rational. You've killed hundreds of people, innocents, children, in the name of saving one person. Do you really think Padme would want that? Would she want you to become a monster to save her life? Her eyes search his face. And even if Palpatine really can teach you to prevent death, and that's a big if, what makes you think he'll keep his promise? He's a Sith Lord. Anakin, deception is what they do. He's not a Sith Lord, but the denial sounds weak even to him. He's the Chancellor. He's trying to save the Republic. You know, that's not true. She takes another step closer. You know what he is. You felt it when Master Windu confronted him. You felt the dark side radiating off him. Palpatine has been playing both sides of this war from the beginning. He's been manipulating everyone, including you. You're wrong. He's shaking his head, but she can see the doubt in his eyes, the conflict. You're just like Obi-Wan, like the Council. You don't trust me. You never did. That's not true, and you know it. Her voice rises with emotion now. I trusted you with my life. Every single day we fought together, I knew you had my back, and I had yours. That bond, that trust, it doesn't just disappear because I left the Order. Then why did you leave? The question comes out almost like a plea. Why did you abandon me when I needed you most? I didn't abandon you. Tears are forming in her eyes now. I left the Order because it was broken, because they were more interested in politics than protecting people, because they expelled me without a trial, judged me without evidence, and then expected me to come back like nothing happened. I left because I couldn't be part of that anymore. And I stayed. His voice is bitter. I stayed and followed their rules and swallowed my pride and did everything they asked. And they still didn't trust me, still treated me like a Padawan, still sent Obi-Wan to spy on me. Well, no more. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation. I have real power now. Power? She shakes her head sadly. Anakin, you're one of the most powerful Force users I've ever known. You always have been. But power without wisdom, without compassion, without restraint, that's not strength. That's tyranny. That's what we fought against in this war. The war is over. His hand rises, and she feels the Force gather around him. I won. Peace will reign under the Empire. An empire that will last for 1,000 years, bringing security and stability to every system. Is that what this is about? Empire? Ahsoka's expression hardens. Anakin, we fought for a republic, for democracy, for freedom. Now, you're telling me you've helped create a dictatorship, that you've murdered thousands of people to install a tyrant? You're so naive. He's advancing on her now, his lightsaber rising. Democracy is weak. The Republic has been crumbling for decades. Corruption, bureaucracy, senators more interested in their own power than the good of their people. The Empire will cut through all of that. There will be order. There will be justice. Justice? She stands her ground even as he approaches. You're talking about the man who orchestrated a war that killed billions, who played both sides like pieces on a Dejaric board, who has now declared himself emperor and eliminated the only people who could stop him. That's not justice, Anakin. That's conquest. You're with them. His eyes narrow, the yellow glow intensifying. You're against me, just like Obi-Wan, just like the Council. I can sense it. You came here to stop me, to kill me. No, she shakes her head firmly. I came here to save you. There's a difference. It's too late for that. His voice drops to something cold and final. I've made my choice. I am more powerful than any Jedi. More powerful than the Chancellor. I can overthrow him eventually, take his place, rule the galaxy the way it should be ruled. With strength, with vision, without the weakness of sentiment. Listen to yourself. Ahsoka's voice breaks. You sound insane. The Anakin I knew cared about people, about right and wrong, about protecting the innocent. This power you're talking about, this control, it's poisoning you. It's turning you into everything we fought against. I am doing what's necessary. He's right in front of her now, looming over her. And if you can't see that, if you stand in my way, then you're my enemy. Then I'll do what I must. She reaches for her lightsabers but doesn't ignite them yet. But I won't fight you, Anakin. Not like this. Not unless you force me to. For a long moment, they stand there, Master and Padawan, separated by a gulf that seems impossibly wide. She can see him struggling, the conflict written across his face. Part of him, she knows, still remembers who he was, still remembers their bond. But the darkness is winning. The corruption runs too deep. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. The words come out flat, final. His lightsaber rises into a guard position. Ahsoka's heart sink. She tried. She really tried. But words alone won't be enough. Maybe they never were. She ignites her own blades, the blue and green glow, standing in stark contrast to his crimson. I'm sorry, Sky Guy. Her voice is barely a whisper. I'm so sorry. I couldn't save you. Then the moment shatters and he's moving, faster than should be possible. His lightsaber coming down in a devastating overhead strike meant to cleave her in two. She crosses her blades and catches it, the impact sending shockwaves down her arms. The raw power behind the blow is staggering. He's always been strong, but this is different. The dark side is enhancing him, fueling him with rage and hate. She pushes back and disengages, using her smaller frame and superior agility to dart aside. His follow-up strike misses her by inches, the blade scoring a molten line across the floor where she was standing. He's not holding back. Not even a little. This is a fight to the death. You taught me everything I know about fighting. She circles him, her blades in a defensive position. But not everything you know. It's true. During their time together, she absorbed his teachings like a sponge. His aggressive style, his use of gem-so, his tendency to overwhelm opponents with raw power. But she also learned to adapt, to develop her own style that plays to her strengths. Speed, precision, acrobatics. She can't match his strength, so she won't try. Anakin comes at her again, a series of rapid strikes that force her to give ground. His technique is flawless, each attack flowing into the next without wasted movement. But there's something different about it now. A brutality that wasn't there before. He's not trying to disarm her or disable her. He's trying to kill her. She blocks, parries, deflects, her two blades working in concert to handle his assault. It's like fighting a storm. Relentless, overwhelming. She leads him deeper into the control room, using the space to her advantage. When he force pushes a console at her, she leaps over it, somersaulting through the air and landing behind him. Her counterattack is swift, both blades aimed at his back, but he spins and catches them. Their lightsabers lock, bringing them face to face. She can feel the heat from his blade, see the corruption in his eyes up close. "Remember Christophsis," she says through gritted teeth. "You saved my life that day." Showed up out of nowhere with a cocky attitude and saved a Padawan you'd never met. That's who you are, Anakin. Not this monster. That man was weak. He shoves her back with the Force, sending her sliding across the floor. Sentimental, holding himself back because of outdated morals. "I'm free of those chains now." She recovers quickly, rolling back to her feet. "This isn't freedom. You're lying to yourself." She rushes him, her blades weaving a pattern of light. "You're scared, terrified, and that fear is controlling you more than the Jedi Code ever did." He roars and meets her attack. Their lightsabers clashing so fast they become blurs. The room fills with the sound of plasma, striking plasma, the ozone smell of ionized air. They fight through the control room and out onto a walkway, the heat of Mustafar's surface hitting them like a furnace. Below them, rivers of lava flow sluggishly, the glow painting everything orange and red. The walkway is narrow, barely wide enough for two people to stand side by side. It should limit Anakin's aggressive style, but he doesn't slow down. He presses the attack, driving her backward along the catwalk. She gives ground strategically, watching for opportunities. When she sees one, she takes it, dropping low and sweeping his legs. He stumbles but doesn't fall, using the Force to maintain his balance. Her follow-up strike is aimed at his mechanical arm, trying to disable it. He blocks and counters, nearly taking her head off. She leans back, feeling the heat of his blade pass centimeters from her face. Too close. She uses the handrail to swing herself up and over, landing on the other side of the walkway and buying herself a moment's breathing room. "You're better than I remember." He doesn't sound pleased. "You've been training. Without the Jedi to hold you back. You've improved. I've had good teachers." She's breathing hard, sweat already soaking her clothes from exertion and heat. "You were one of them. You taught me to never give up, to fight for what I believe in, to protect those who can't protect themselves. Remember teaching me that on Ryloth? When we freed those villages from the separatists, you told me that our power means nothing if we don't use it to help others. And look where that got us." He leaps across the gap, bringing his lightsaber down in another powerful strike. Fighting each other on a volcanic hell world while everything we knew burns. She catches his blade on her crossed sabers. "We don't have to be enemies. It's not too late. You can still choose differently. You can choose to be the man who taught me those lessons instead of the monster Palpatine wants you to become." For just a moment, she sees hesitation in his eyes, a flicker of the man he used to be. Then it's gone, buried under layers of rage and pain and dark side corruption. It's too late. His voice is hollow. "I've gone too far, done too much. There's no going back. There's always a choice." She breaks the lock and backflips away. Always. But you have to make it. You have to want to come back. They fight across multiple walkways now, moving deeper into the facility's industrial heart. Massive machinery surrounds them, collection systems designed to process the molten rock into usable materials. The heat is nearly unbearable. Ahsoka's montrals are aching constantly, her body protesting the extreme temperature. But she pushes through it, focusing on survival, focusing on finding any opening to reach him. Anakin seems unbothered by the heat. If anything, it seems to fuel him. His attacks become more ferocious, more desperate. He's trying to end this quickly, to overwhelm her before the environment becomes a factor. She recognizes the tactic and adjusts her strategy. She needs to draw this out, tire him out, hope that exhaustion breaks through his rage and lets her reach the man underneath. She leads him onto a platform suspended over a massive lava stream. The metal beneath their feet is glowing red, the heat radiating up through their boots. This is insane. No one should be fighting here. But Anakin doesn't care. He unleashes a flurry of attacks that drives her to the edge of the platform. One more step, and she'll fall into the molten rock below. Instead, she jumps backward, flipping through the air and landing on a lower platform. He follows without hesitation. The dark side, making him reckless. They trade attacks again, her defensive style against his aggressive onslaught. She's looking for patterns, weaknesses, anything she can exploit. And she finds them. Small things. He's favoring his organic arm slightly. His footwork is getting sloppy. The rage is making him predictable. She starts to press her advantage, her counterattacks coming faster and more precisely. She scores a hit on his shoulder, burning through cloth and leaving a mark on his skin. He snarls and redoubles his efforts, but she's found her rhythm now. Another hit on his thigh, then his forearm. None of them are serious wounds, but they're adding up. He's bleeding in multiple places now, and she can see the pain and fury in his eyes mounting with each strike. "Do you remember what you told me after Mortis?" she calls out, ducking under a wild swing. "When we faced the son and the daughter, you said that the Force seeks balance, that light and dark aren't enemies, they're parts of a whole. You understood that once. Before Palpatine twisted everything in your mind, Mortis was a mistake. He's panting now, his attacks losing some of their precision. The father was weak. The son understood power, real power. If I joined him then, none of this would have happened. You don't believe that." She parries a thrust and spins away. "The son tried to control you, just like Palpatine is controlling you now, and you rejected him. The real you rejected him because you knew it was wrong. This isn't the same." His voice cracks slightly. "The Chancellor isn't trying to control me. He's freeing me, teaching me, showing me my true potential. Then why does he want you to kill everyone who cares about you?" She's pressing harder now, her strikes coming in combinations he's struggling to block. Why does he want to isolate you, make you dependent on him? That's not freedom, Anakin. That's manipulation. He screams and charges. All technique, abandoning him in favor of raw aggression. She meets him head-on, and their blades lock again. But this time she's ready. She uses his momentum against him, twisting at the last moment and throwing him off balance. He stumbles past her, and she strikes. her blade cutting through the machinery behind him. The equipment explodes, showering them both with debris and superheated steam. When the smoke clears, they're separated. Anakin on one platform, Ahsoka on another, with a gap of molten rock between them. They're both breathing hard, both wounded, both reaching the limits of their endurance. But neither is willing to give up. She can see it in his eyes. The same determination that once made him a hero now turned toward destroying her. She needs to try something else, something that might reach past his anger. I forgive you. Her voice carries across the gap, clear and strong, despite her exhaustion. For all of it, for the temple, for the younglings, for trying to kill me. I forgive you, Anakin, because I know this isn't really you. I know the dark side has you in its grip, and I know that somewhere inside, you're still the man who taught me what it means to be a hero. His face contorts with anguish and something that might be shame. Don't forgive me. I don't deserve it. I don't want it. You're right. You don't deserve it. But I'm giving it anyway. She deactivates one lightsaber and extends her hand across the gap. Because that's what you taught me. That people are worth saving even when they don't think they deserve it. Come back, Sky Guy. Please, let me help you. For a long moment, he just stares at her outstretched hand. She can see the war raging inside him, written across every line of his face. The dark side pulling him one way, the memory of who he was pulling him another. His lightsaber hand trembles. He takes a step forward, as if he might actually reach for her. Then, his communicator chirps. She can't hear what's being said, but she sees his expression change. The conflict vanishes, replaced by cold determination. Whatever Palpatine or his agents just told him, it's reinforced the darkness's hold. The moment is lost. Why are you doing this? She calls across the gap, desperation creeping into her voice. Really doing this? Is it really about saving Padme? Or is it about proving something? Proving that the Council was wrong about you? Proving that you're the most powerful? Proving that you don't need anyone? You don't know what you're talking about. But his voice lacks conviction. Everything I've done, I did for her, for Padme, for our future, for our children. Our? Ahsoka latches onto that. She's pregnant, isn't she? That's what this is really about. You're going to be a father, and it terrifies you. He doesn't respond. But the confirmation is written all over his face. His hand goes to his chest, as if clutching at something beneath his robes. Ahsoka realizes he must be carrying something of Padme's, some token or keepsake. Even now, corrupted by the dark side, he's thinking of her. Anakin, fear is natural. Being scared of losing someone you love, that's part of being human. But letting that fear control you, letting it drive you to do horrible things, that's the path to the dark side. And you know what the worst part is? She takes a shaky breath. You're going to lose her anyway. Not because of childbirth, but because of this. Because of what you're becoming. She won't be able to love the monster you're turning into. No. He's shaking his head violently. No, I'm saving her. That's all that matters. I'm saving her and our children. And we'll be together. We'll rule the galaxy as a family. The Jedi are gone. The Separatists are gone. Nothing can threaten us anymore. Do you really think Padme wants to rule the galaxy? She's a senator, a believer in democracy, in freedom. You think she's going to stand beside you while you enforce Palpatine's tyranny? While you crush rebellions and eliminate dissidents? You don't know her at all, if you think that. I know her better than anyone. His voice rises defensively. I love her. I would die for her, would do anything for her, then live for her. Ahsoka's voice breaks. Be the man she fell in love with. The hero, the Jedi, the person who believed in justice and compassion. Not this, not a killer, not a tyrant's enforcer. The Jedi always said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. He's not looking at her anymore, staring at the lava below. They were right about that, at least. I am suffering, Snips. Every moment of every day. The fear of losing her eats at me like acid. And the things I've done to prevent it, they haunt me even now. The faces of the younglings, the sound of their screams. But I can't stop. I've come too far. If I stop now, if I turn back, then it was all for nothing. All those deaths, all that pain for nothing. It doesn't have to be for nothing. Ahsoka's voice is gentle but urgent. You can stop right now. You can choose to not compound the tragedy. Yes, you've done terrible things. Yes, people died because of your choices. But more will die if you continue. Thousands, maybe millions. You can prevent that. You can save lives going forward, even if you can't bring back the ones you took. How? His voice is anguished. How can I save anyone when I'm damned, when I'm a monster? Everyone I love will hate me. Padme will hate me. Our children will grow up knowing their father was a murderer. There's no redemption for what I've done. I don't have all the answers. She admits honestly, her voice thick with emotion. I don't know what redemption looks like for you, but I know that continuing down this path, serving Palpatine, becoming his enforcer, becoming Vader, or whatever he wants to call you, that's not the answer. That just makes everything worse. Vader. He repeats the word softly, as if testing it. Yes, that's what he wants to call me, Darth Vader. The name of a Sith Lord. A new identity to replace the one I destroyed. Then don't let him take Anakin Skywalker away. Hold on to who you are, who you were. The man who freed slaves on Tatooine, who fought for justice across the galaxy, who taught me that the measure of a person isn't their power, but what they choose to do with it. His face contorts with anguish, and for a moment, she thinks she's reached him, thinks the bond they share, the history they have, the love that's always existed between them, even if they never spoke it aloud, is enough to pull him back from the abyss. He takes a step toward her, his organic hand reaching out. She reaches back, hope surging in her chest. Then his expression hardens again, and she knows she's lost. The dark side has him too firmly in its grasp. Whatever words Palpatine planted in his mind, whatever fears the Sith Lord is exploiting, they're too strong. The window has closed. You're wrong. His voice is cold, empty. The Chancellor was right about you, about all the Jedi. You're deluded, clinging to your outdated morals while the galaxy burns. You speak of choice, but you don't understand. There is no choice. Not anymore. The path is set. My fate is sealed. I tried to reason with you, tried to show you the truth, tried to make you understand, but you're too blind to see it. If you won't join me, then you have to die. He raises his hand, and she feels the force gather around him, concentrated and deadly. This is it. He's done talking, done hesitating. The man she knew is gone completely now, buried beneath the Sith Lord he's becoming. Force lightning arcs from his fingers, bright blue electricity that sizzles through the superheated air. She barely gets her lightsabers up in time, crossing them to catch the lightning. The energy grounds through her blades, but some of it leaks through, racing across her skin like liquid fire. She screams as her nervous system lights up with agony. Her montrals feel like they're burning from the inside out. Her muscles lock up, her body convulsing uncontrollably. The attack seems to last forever, but probably only lasts seconds. When he finally stops, she collapses to her knees, her lightsabers falling from nerveless fingers. Smoke rises from her montrals where the electricity burned her. The distinctive orange and white patterns now charred and blackened in places. Her entire body convulses with aftershocks, muscles spasming randomly. She can taste blood in her mouth where she bit her tongue. Through blurred vision, she sees Anakin leap across the gap, landing on her platform with his lightsaber raised for a killing blow. This is it. This is how she dies. Killed by the man she once called Master, the man she loved like a brother. She can't even move to defend herself, her muscles still locked up from the Force lightning. She closes her eyes, waiting for the end, hoping it will be quick, but the killing blow never comes. Instead, she hears a voice she recognizes, a voice that shouldn't be here. "Anakin, stop!" Padmé's voice cuts through the haze of pain like a beacon of light in the darkness. Ahsoka forces her eyes open, fighting through the agony in the blurred vision, and sees Padmé Amidala standing at the entrance to the platform. She's pregnant, her belly showing clearly beneath her senatorial robes, her face pale, with exhaustion from the journey, but set with determination. And she's staring at Anakin like she doesn't recognize him, like she's seeing a stranger wearing her husband's face. "Padmé." Anakin's voice cracks, all the cold certainty vanishing in an instant. "What are you doing here? How did you... You shouldn't be here. It's not safe. The volcano, the heat, the baby. You need to leave. Now." "Not safe?" Padmé's voice rises, hysteria creeping in at the edges. "You're standing there with a lightsaber about to murder someone, and you're telling me it's not safe. You're the danger, Anakin. I can see it now. Obi-Wan was right. Master Yoda was right. They were all right about you." She looks at the bodies visible through the facility windows, at his yellow Sith eyes glowing in the dim light, at Ahsoka lying wounded and helpless on the ground, smoke still rising from her burned montrals. Her hand goes to her mouth, horror and disbelief warring on her face. "What have you done?" Her voice breaks. "What have you become?" "I heard the reports, but I didn't want to believe them. I couldn't believe them. I thought there had to be some explanation, some reason. But this," she gestures at the carnage around them, "this is real. This is you, my Anakin, my husband, the father of my children. You did this." Anakin deactivates his lightsaber, his hand dropping to his side. The conflict on his face is painful to watch, like watching someone being torn apart from the inside. I did this for you, all of it, to save you, to protect our child, our children. Don't you understand? I have the power now, the power to stop you from dying. We can be together. We can rule the galaxy together, make it everything we want it to be. We can have the life we always dreamed of. Padme is shaking her head, tears streaming down her face. This isn't what I want. This isn't what I've ever wanted. The Anakin I fell in love with was kind, compassionate. He believed in democracy, in justice, in doing the right thing, even when it was hard. He was a Jedi, a protector, a hero. This, she gestures at him, at his dark robes and corrupted eyes. This is the opposite of everything you stood for, everything we stood for together. He takes a step toward her, and she backs away, her hands coming up defensively. No, don't come near me. Don't touch me. You've become everything we fought against in this war, everything we sacrificed for. Obi-Wan told me what happened at the temple, that you killed the younglings, children, Anakin, babies, learning to use the Force. How could you? How could the man I love do something so monstrous? They were necessary sacrifices. His voice is defensive now, pleading for the greater good, for peace, for security. The Jedi Order was corrupt. They were planning to take over the Republic. I stopped them. I saved democracy, saved freedom. You saved democracy? Her laugh is bitter, almost hysterical. By helping Palpatine declare himself Emperor? By murdering everyone who could stop him? By creating the very tyranny you claim to oppose? Anakin, listen to yourself. You're not making sense. The dark side has twisted your mind. The dark side has freed my mind. He's getting agitated now, his hands clenching into fists. The Jedi lied to us about everything, about the Force, about power, about what it means to protect the people you love. They would have let you die, Padme. Rather than teach me how to save you, they would have told me to accept it, to let go. Well, I won't let go. I won't lose you, like I lost my mother. Shmi. Padme's voice softens for a moment, remembering. Anakin, I know losing your mother broke something in you. I know that pain never healed. But this isn't the answer. Killing innocent people won't bring her back, won't prevent me from dying. It will only create more pain, more suffering. Can't you see that? I can save you. His voice is desperate now, almost begging. The Chancellor taught me, showed me the power to prevent death, to keep you from dying in childbirth. Our children will have both parents. We'll be a family. We'll be together. We'll rule the galaxy and make it safe. Make it perfect. Make it everything we dreamed of when we were young and foolish and thought we could change the universe. I don't want to rule the galaxy. She's crying openly now, her voice breaking with each word. I don't want power. I don't want an empire. I want my husband back. I want the man who married me in secret on Naboo, who promised to love me forever, who talked about running away together and leaving all this behind. That man would never have done these things, would never have murdered children. would never have fallen to darkness. That man was weak. Anakin's voice hardens again. The vulnerability vanishing. He would have let you die, would have stood by helplessly while the Force took you from him, while our children grew up without a mother. I won't be weak anymore. I won't stand by. I have the power to prevent it, and I will use it no matter what it costs. It's already cost too much. Padme's hand rests on her pregnant belly protectively. You've killed hundreds, maybe thousands. You've destroyed the Jedi Order. You've helped create a dictatorship. And for what? To maybe save me from a vision that might not even be real, a prophecy that might be a trick. Anakin, the dark side lies. It shows you what you fear most and uses it to control you. The vision is real. His voice drops to barely a whisper. I've seen it every night for months. You die in childbirth, in pain, calling my name. And I can't save you, can't help you, can only watch as the life drains from your eyes. I won't let that happen. I can't. She's the only good thing in my life, the only pure thing. And I will do anything, sacrifice anyone, destroy anything to keep her safe. Ahsoka, still on the ground but slowly recovering feeling in her limbs, manages to push herself to her hands and knees. Even through the pain, even through her own fear and exhaustion, she can see what's happening, sees Anakin spiraling deeper into his delusion, sees Padme trying desperately to reach him, sees the tragedy unfolding in real time. But it's not too late. Come away with me. Padme's voice becomes gentle, coaxing, the way you talk to a frightened child. Leave all this behind. We'll go somewhere the Empire can't find us. Somewhere safe. Help me raise our children. Be their father. Be my husband. Choose us over this darkness. Choose love over fear. Please, Anakin, I'm begging you. Choose us for a moment, just a moment. Ahsoka sees hope kindle in his eyes, sees the walls starting to crack, sees the man she knew fighting to break free of the monster he's become. His hand reaches for Padme, organic hand, trembling as it stretches toward her. Twins. His voice is wonder and fear mixed together. You said children, plural. We're having twins? Yes. Padme smiles through her tears, hope blooming on her face. I can feel them. A boy and a girl. They're strong, healthy, and they need their father. They need you, Anakin, the real you. Not this, not Vader. They need Anakin Skywalker. Ahsoka wants to scream at him to listen to Padme, to accept the lifeline she's offering, but she can barely move, still recovering from the Force lightning. All she can do is watch and hope and pray to whatever Force entity might be listening that Anakin makes the right choice. Then his comm chirps again. A burst of static followed by a voice. Palpatine's voice. She can't make out the words from this distance, but she doesn't need to. She sees the effect on Anakin, sees his expression shift, sees the hope drain away, and the darkness rush back in like a flood. Whatever the Emperor just said, it's reinforced his control, reminded Anakin of his fears, his doubts, his anger. No, Padme sees it too, and her face crumples. No, Anakin, don't listen to him. Listen to me. Listen to your wife, to the mother of your children. We can leave right now. Together, please." His face hardens, all emotion draining away until he's almost unrecognizable. She sees the exact moment she loses him completely. "You." He turns to look at Ahsoka, who is still on the ground, trying to recover. "You turned her against me. You told her lies. You poisoned her mind, brought her here to betray me." "What?" Ahsoka's voice is weak, her throat raw from screaming. "No, I didn't. I haven't even seen her. I came here alone. Liar." His eyes blaze yellow again, brighter than before. "You and Obi-Wan. You're conspiring against me, planning this, trying to turn everyone I love against me, just like the Jedi Council did. You're all trying to destroy what I've built, trying to take everything from me, trying to make me weak again. Anakin, listen to yourself." Padme's voice is desperate, terrified. "Nobody turned me against you. I came here on my own, because I was worried, because I love you, because I wanted to believe that what Obi-Wan told me couldn't be true. I wanted to see you, to hear your side of things, to understand. But now, I see he was right. You have fallen. You have turned to the dark side. You're with them." He's backing away from both of them now, his hand going to his lightsaber. Paranoia, overtaking all reason. All of you, against me, turning on me, plotting against me, trying to take everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed for. You're with Obi-Wan. You're with the Council. You're all trying to destroy me. The paranoia is taking over completely now. The dark side whispers have convinced him that everyone he loves is an enemy, that the entire galaxy is arrayed against him. Palpatine's words and the Sith teachings have warped his perception of reality until he can't tell friend from foe anymore. Ahsoka has seen this before, in other dark side users. The way the corruption eventually makes you trust no one. See threats everywhere, until you're completely isolated and dependent on your dark side master. "Anakin, no!" Padme's plea falls on deaf ears. He raises his hand, and Padme rises into the air against her will, her feet dangling above the ground. Her hands go to her throat as invisible fingers squeeze, cutting off her air. Her eyes go wide with shock and betrayal. He's killing her, the woman he claims to love more than life itself. The woman he's done all this to save. He's killing her. No. Ahsoka forces herself to move despite the pain, despite the muscle spasms, despite everything. She reaches for the Force, gathering what little strength she has left, and pulls hard. It's not elegant or controlled. It's pure, desperate instinct. But it's enough. The Force connection breaks and Padme drops, collapsing to her knees and gasping for air. Her hands at her throat, coughing and sobbing. Ahsoka calls her lightsabers to her hands with the Force, the weapons flying from where they'd fallen. She ignites them both and rushes Anakin. She's not at full strength, not even close, but fury drives her forward. He tried to kill Padme, the woman he claims to love, the woman he says he's doing all this for, the mother of his unborn children. He's too far gone. She can see that now. The Anakin she knew is buried too deep, smothered by the darkness, maybe lost forever. She slams into him, and they go down in a tangle of limbs, rolling across the platform. Her lightsabers are knocked away, but she doesn't need them right now. She rains punches down on his face, fueled by rage and grief and desperation. Rage at what he's become, grief for what he's lost, desperation to stop him from hurting Padme again. He blocks some of her strikes, but takes others, his nose breaking with a crunch under her fist. Blood streams down his face, mixing with sweat and ash. He snarls like an animal and throws her off with the Force, sending her flying. She hits a support pillar hard enough to crack it, the impact driving the air from her lungs. Stars exploding across her vision. Anakin stands, his mechanical hand touching his broken nose, blood dripping between his fingers, his yellow eyes blazing with pure hatred. He gestures and his lightsaber flies to his hand, the red blade igniting with its characteristic snap hiss. Ahsoka scrambles to her feet, calling her own weapons back. This is it, the final exchange. One of them isn't walking away from this. Maybe neither of them. They charge each other, and their blades meet in a shower of sparks that briefly illuminates the platform. The strikes come fast and brutal now, both of them pushing their bodies beyond reasonable limits. Ahsoka fights with everything she has, every technique she knows, every bit of strength she can muster. But it's not enough. The Force lightning damaged her badly. She's slower than normal, weaker, her movements less precise. And Anakin is getting stronger as his rage builds, the dark side feeding on his anger and fear and hate. His lightsaber comes in low, and she blocks, but not fast enough. The blade catches her leg, burning through cloth and flesh, cauterizing even as it cuts. She screams and stumbles, her injured leg nearly giving out beneath her. Pain explodes up her body, but she stays, standing through sheer will. He presses the advantage immediately. His next strike, aimed at her head, meant to end this. She blocks with one blade and stabs with the other, desperation giving her speed. Her blue lightsaber pierces his mechanical arm at the elbow joint, the blade shorting out the systems. Sparks fly from the wound, and his mechanical fingers spasm, releasing his lightsaber. It falls, deactivating, as it clatters across the platform. Anakin roars in pain and rage, his mechanical arm hanging useless at his side. But he's not done. Not nearly done. The dark side gives him strength beyond the physical. He raises his organic hand and unleashes another blast of Force lightning, even more powerful than before. She crosses her blades to catch it, but the energy overwhelms her defenses completely. The lightning blasts through her guard, enveloping her entire body. She's thrown backward by the force of it, her body convulsing as electricity courses through every nerve. Her lightsabers fly from her hands, deactivating as they clatter across the platform. She can smell her own flesh burning, feel her montrals being damaged beyond what they can heal from. She lands on her back, smoke rising from multiple points on her body, her vision going dark at the edges. She can't feel her legs anymore, can't feel much of anything except overwhelming pain that makes her want to scream, but she doesn't have the breath for it. Through the haze, through vision that's fading in and out, she sees Anakin approaching. He's limping now, his mechanical arm sparking and useless, his face bloody and burned, but still coming, still determined to end this. He retrieves his lightsaber with the Force, catching it in his organic hand and reigniting it. The red blade casts bloody shadows across his face as he stands over her. This is really it. She failed. She couldn't save him, couldn't stop him, couldn't protect Padme, couldn't do anything but watch as her master, her friend, the man she loved like family, became a monster. "I'm sorry, Sky Guy," she manages to whisper, her voice barely audible. "I'm sorry, I wasn't good enough. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry I left when you needed me. I'm sorry for everything." His lightsaber rises, the killing blow coming. She closes her eyes, waiting for the end. But then Padme is there, throwing herself between them with no regard for her own safety. Her arms spread wide, protecting Ahsoka with her own body. "No, if you're going to kill her, you'll have to go through me, through us." She places both hands on her pregnant belly protectively. "Through your children, your son and daughter. They're in here, Anakin. They're alive and healthy, and they're yours. Kill her and you kill the last good person who ever believed in you. Kill her and you prove that Anakin Skywalker truly is dead." Ahsoka sees the conflict on his face, the war between the man he was and the monster he's becoming. His lightsaber hand shakes, the blade wavering. For a moment, just a moment, she thinks Padme has reached him, that the love he has for her, the bond they share, the children they created together, is enough to break through the darkness. Then his expression hardens one final time. She sees the exact moment the light dies in his eyes completely. The moment Anakin Skywalker ceases to exist, and only the thing that will become Darth Vader remains. "Move aside, Padme." His voice is dead, emotionless. "This isn't your concern. If it's not my concern, whose is it?" She stands firm despite her fear, despite knowing he could kill her as easily as breathing. "You say you're doing this for me, for us, but you're killing the man I love. You're destroying yourself. And for what? Power? Control? Some twisted vision of peace that's really just tyranny, with a different name." The platform shudders beneath them violently, the structural damage from their fight finally reaching critical mass. Cracks spread across the metal like spider webs, glowing red as the heat compromises the integrity. The support struts are screaming, metal tearing and buckling. They have maybe minutes, maybe only seconds, before the whole thing collapses into the lava below. Ahsoka uses the distraction, the momentary shift in Anakin's attention, to call one of her lightsabers back to her hand. Her movements are slow, clumsy, her coordination shot from the repeated Force lightning attacks. But she manages to ignite the blade, the green glow steady even as her hand shakes. Looking into Anakin's corrupted eyes, his face twisted with rage and pain and madness, she makes her choice. She can't save him. She tried everything. Words, appeals to their shared history, appeals to his love for Padme, appeals to reason and logic and emotion. Nothing worked. The darkness has him completely. But she can stop him from hurting anyone else. She can save Padme. She can save those unborn children. She can make sure no one else dies today because of Anakin Skywalker's fall. With the last of her strength, channeling everything she has left into one final attack, she lunges forward. Her blade catches his legs, severing them at the knees. The lightsaber cuts through flesh and bone with terrible ease, cauterizing as it goes. He drops with a scream that's part rage, part agony, part disbelief. His lightsaber deactivates as it falls from his hand, clattering away across the platform. Ahsoka stands over him, swaying on her feet, her own blade at his throat. Tears stream down her face, mixing with the blood and sweat and ash that coats her skin. "I'm sorry, Sky Guy." Her voice breaks completely. "I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me. I'm sorry the Order failed you. I'm sorry Padme and your children will grow up without you. I'm sorry for everything. But I can't let you hurt anyone else. I can't let you destroy everything good in the galaxy." Anakin looks up at her, his yellow eyes dimming slightly, pain cutting through the hatred. "Then, finish it. Kill me. End this. That's what you came here to do, isn't it? That's what the Jedi would want. That's what I deserve. I murdered children, Snips. Innocent children who trusted me. I betrayed everything I ever believed in. I destroyed the only family I ever had. Kill me and spare me from having to live with what I've done. I'm not the Jedi anymore." She deactivates her lightsaber, the green blade winking out. "And I won't kill you, Anakin, but I can't let you hurt anyone else either. So, I'm leaving you here. Live with what you've become. Live with your choices. Live with the knowledge that you destroyed everything you loved in pursuit of power you didn't need. Live with the ghosts of everyone you killed. Maybe that's a worse punishment than death." The platform lurches violently, a section tearing away and falling into the lava below, with a thunderous splash that sends molten rock spraying upward. The heat intensifies unbearably. They're out of time. Ahsoka half runs, half stumbles to Padme, who is frozen in shock, staring at Anakin's mutilated form with horror and grief warring on her face. "We have to go, now." She grabs the senator's arm and pulls, but Padme resists, still staring at her husband. "Anakin." Padme's voice is a broken whisper. "I loved you. I loved you so much, and you threw it all away. You threw us away. For nothing. For lies. For darkness. I hope, wherever you end up, you find peace. Because you'll never know it in this life. Not after what you've done. No." Anakin's scream is raw, primal, filled with more anguish than rage. "Padme, don't leave me. Come back. You can't leave me. I did this for you. All of it. Please. Don't go. Don't leave me here." "Padme." Ahsoka drags her away forcibly, supporting the pregnant woman as they race toward the landing pad. Behind them, Anakin tries to drag himself forward with his remaining arm, pulling his broken body across the platform, leaving a trail of blood. But the platform is collapsing faster now, huge sections tearing away and falling into the lava below. The heat is becoming unbearable even for someone as strong in the Force as him. Ahsoka looks back one last time, her heart's breaking despite everything. Their eyes meet across the distance. In that moment, she sees everything. The betrayal he feels, the hatred, the accusation, but also, buried deep beneath the corruption, a flicker of the man he used to be, the pain of someone who's lost everything, including himself, the realization of what he's done and what he's become. Then the platform gives way completely beneath him, and he slides toward the edge, toward the lava, waiting below. His fingers scrabble for purchase, but find none. He's screaming, not words, but just sound, as he slides closer to the molten rock. Ahsoka wants to turn back, wants to save him despite everything, but Padme needs her. The twins need her. She has to let him go. She tears herself away, forcing her injured body to move. They make it to the Wanderer, just as the section behind them collapses entirely. Ahsoka gets Padme into a seat, strapping her in with shaking hands, then throws herself into the pilot's chair. Her hands are trembling so badly she can barely work the controls. The engines scream in protest as she forces them to full power. The ship lifting off just as the landing pad disintegrates beneath them. Through the viewport, as they climb through Mustafar's ash-choked atmosphere, she sees the facility collapsing, massive sections falling into the lava lake, explosions ripping through what remains as containment systems fail. And there, on a small strip of remaining platform at the edge of a lava river, she sees Anakin. He's managed to pull himself to the edge somehow, his remaining arms stretched toward the sky, toward their departing ship. His body is burning from the radiant heat, his clothes on fire, his skin blackening and cracking, and he's screaming, a sound of pure agony that she can hear even through the ship's hull, can feel through their bond, even from this distance. Every instinct screams at her to go back, to save him, to not let him die like this, even after everything. But she can't. She knows she can't. Padme is sobbing in the seat behind her, her hands on her belly, feeling her baby's kick. The twins need their mother, need someone to protect them from what's coming. And Anakin, the real Anakin she knew, he made his choice. He chose darkness, chose power, chose fear over love. She tried to save him and failed. All she can do now is save what he left behind. She tears her eyes away from the viewport and focuses on flying, on getting them away from this hellscape, on surviving. The guilt threatens to crush her like a physical weight, but she pushes through it. There will be time for grief later. Right now, she needs to get Padme to safety, get her to medical care, make sure the twins survive, even if their father is lost. The senator is silent during the ascent, her eyes distant and glassy with shock, one hand resting on her pregnant belly, the other clutching the edge of her seat so tightly her knuckles are white. Ahsoka doesn't know what to say. What words could possibly be adequate for what just happened? What comfort could she offer to a woman who just watched her husband fall to the dark side, try to kill her, and then burn alive? They break through the atmosphere and into the blessed coldness of space. The stars look different somehow, colder, more distant, like the universe itself has changed in some fundamental way. Ahsoka sets a course for Polis Massa, the medical facility where they can get Padme help, where they can make sure the twins survive, where they can try to figure out what comes next. As the ship jumps to hyperspace, the adrenaline finally fades, and the full extent of her injuries hits her like a collapsing building. Her leg is badly burned, the flesh charred and damaged. Her montrals are permanently scarred from the Force lightning, some of the delicate tissues destroyed beyond healing. Her entire body feels like one massive bruise, every movement sending fresh waves of agony through her nervous system. But she's alive. They're alive. For now, that has to be enough. Padme finally speaks, her voice hollow and distant, like it's coming from very far away. Is he dead? I don't know. Ahsoka's honest, her own voice hoarse and rough. The facility was collapsing. The heat was. She trails off, unable to find words. Maybe, probably, but I can still feel him through our bond. Faintly, so maybe not. Maybe Palpatine will find him. Maybe he'll survive somehow. I don't know. Padme nods slowly, tears silently streaming down her face. leaving tracks through the ash that coats her skin. She doesn't say anything else for the rest of the journey, just sits there, one hand on her belly, staring at nothing, processing the impossible. Ahsoka gives her space, understanding that some pain is too deep for words, some grief too profound for comfort. They arrive at Polis Massa to find Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi already there, having also escaped the purge by pure luck and quick thinking. Obi-Wan takes one look at Ahsoka's battered appearance, at Padmé's shell-shocked expression, and knows. His face goes pale, all the color draining from it like water from a broken cup. Anakin? His voice is barely a whisper, like he's afraid to hear the answer. He's gone, turned. I couldn't stop him. Ahsoka collapses as she tries to exit the ship, her injured leg finally giving out completely. Obi-Wan catches her before she hits the ground, his arms strong despite his own exhaustion. I tried, Master Kenobi. I swear I tried. I used every argument, every memory, every connection we had. But the darkness, it has him completely. Palpatine twisted him into something I don't recognize. I know. His voice breaks. Years of carefully maintained Jedi composure, cracking like ice under pressure. I know you did. This isn't your fault, Ahsoka. It's not your burden to carry alone. Bail Organa helps Padmé from the ship, the senator moving like a sleepwalker, her eyes unfocused and distant. Medical droids rush forward with repulsor gurneys, their sensors already scanning for injuries and vital signs. The medical droids work on both women through the long night. Ahsoka's injuries are severe but survivable with time and Bacta treatment. The burns will scar, permanent reminders of this day etched into her skin. The damage to her montrals is permanent, some of the sensory organs destroyed by the Force lightning. She'll never hear or sense the world quite the same way again. But she'll live. She'll recover physically, at least. Emotionally is another story entirely. Padmé is in worse shape, though her injuries are less visible. The medical droids stabilize her vital signs and monitor the twins carefully. Both babies appear healthy, their heartbeats strong and steady. But something is wrong with Padmé herself. The droids run test after test, searching for an explanation, but find nothing physically wrong. No disease, no injury, no medical reason for her condition. Yet she's dying, slowly but surely. Life is draining out of her like sand. Through an hourglass, she's lost the will to live. The head medical droid's mechanical voice lacks the ability to convey sympathy, but the words hit like hammer blows anyway. We've analyzed her condition from every possible angle. There's nothing medically wrong with her, but her life signs continue to deteriorate. At this rate, she won't survive the week. Perhaps not even the night. That's impossible. Obi-Wan's voice is sharp with disbelief and desperation. Senator Amidala is one of the strongest people I know. She's survived assassination attempts, political warfare, an entire war. She wouldn't just give up. It's not impossible. Bail Organa's voice is quiet, sad. I've seen it before, in the Senate. People who lose everything they believed in, everyone they loved. Sometimes the spirit breaks, even when the body is whole. Anakin didn't just betray her. He tried to kill her, tried to force choke her while she carried his children. That kind of betrayal, that kind of pain, It's beyond what most people can endure. The twins. Ahsoka's voice comes from the doorway where she's leaning heavily on a medical crutch, her injured leg wrapped in Bacta bandages. We have to save the twins. Even if we can't save her, we have to try. They're all that's left of the good man Anakin used to be. They're innocent in all this. They deserve a chance. When dawn comes, they're summoned to Padmé's bedside. She's propped up against pillows, looking impossibly small and fragile in the medical bed. But she's awake and alert, and she's holding two tiny infants wrapped in soft blankets, one in each arm, cradling them against her chest like they're the most precious things in the universe, which Ahsoka supposes they are. Luke, Padmé says, looking at the boy in her left arm, and Leia. She looks at the girl in her right. My beautiful babies. My perfect, innocent children. She traces their tiny features with her finger, memorizing every detail. Luke has his father's nose. Leia has my eyes. They're both so strong already. I can feel their presence in the Force. Bright and pure, and full of potential. Obi-Wan steps forward, his face carved from grief and guilt and a dozen other emotions he's too well trained to show. Padmé, you need to rest. You need to conserve your strength. The medical droids say you can recover if you fight, if you hold on. For them, he gestures at the twins. There's no strength left to conserve. She smiles, sadly, peacefully, like someone who's accepted their fate. I can feel it, Obi-Wan. My heart is broken, literally, metaphorically, completely. Anakin took everything from me. My husband, my dreams, my future, my hope. Everything except them. She looks down at the twins, her eyes filling with tears. And I can't stay. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. She hands Luke to Obi-Wan with careful, deliberate movements. He takes the infant awkwardly, clearly uncomfortable but trying his best. Then she gestures for Ahsoka, who limps over on her crutch. Padmé places Leia in her arms with the same care, the same love, the same desperate hope that her children will be okay, even if she won't be there to see it. Ahsoka takes the infant carefully, cradling the tiny life against her chest. Leia is so small, so fragile, yet Ahsoka can already feel her strength in the Force. She's going to be a fighter, this one. Strong-willed and stubborn and brilliant, just like her mother. Luke is more contemplative, more peaceful, but there's a core of strength in him too. Power, waiting to be awakened. His father's power, but hopefully used for better purposes. They're going to be amazing. Padmé's voice is getting weaker, each word requiring more effort than the last. I can feel it. They're going to change the galaxy, make it better, heal the wounds their father helped create. But you have to keep them safe first. You have to protect them from Palpatine, from Vader, from the Empire, and everything it represents. Promise me, both of you, promise me you'll give them a chance to grow up free. We promise. Ahsoka's voice cracks, tears streaming down her face, falling on Leia's blanket. I swear, on my life, on the Force itself, I will protect them. They'll never know the darkness that took their father. They'll grow up safe and loved and free to choose their own paths. I'll watch over them from the shadows. I'll make sure the Empire never finds them. I'll be there too. Obi-Wan's voice is choked with emotion. his carefully maintained composure completely shattered on Tatooine, watching, waiting, ready to train them if they need it, ready to protect them if danger comes. They'll have the chance their father never did, the chance to choose light over darkness, love over fear, hope over despair. Good. Padmé's eyes are starting to close, her breathing becoming shallow and irregular. There is still good in him. I know it. Somewhere deep inside, buried under all the darkness and pain and hatred, my Anakin still exists. Maybe these two will be the ones to find him, to bring him back, to save him when no one else could. She coughs weakly. Tell them about me, not about how I died, but how I lived. Tell them I loved them more than anything, that I died loving their father despite everything, that there was good in him once, and maybe, just maybe, there still is. Her eyes close one final time, a peaceful expression settling over her face like she's finally found rest after a long, exhausting journey. The medical droid's alarms begin to blare, their sensors detecting the failing vital signs. But it's too late. There's nothing they can do. Senator Padmé Amidala, former Queen of Naboo, champion of democracy, voice of the people, wife to a fallen Jedi, mother to twins who will reshape the galaxy, is dead at 27 years old. Ahsoka clutches Leia close, her tears falling onto the infant's blanket. The baby fusses slightly but doesn't cry, as if she understands on some instinctual level that something terrible has happened. Obi-Wan stands like a statue, holding Luke, his face a mask of barely controlled anguish. Bail Organa bows his head respectfully, removing his senatorial cap in a gesture of mourning. They stand there for a long moment, united in their grief, mourning the loss of a good woman and the galaxy she represented. Eventually, practicality forces them to move. They have to plan, have to protect the children, have to survive in this new empire that's risen from the ashes of the Republic. They knew the funeral is small, private, held in secret. They can't risk drawing imperial attention. Padmé is laid to rest on Naboo with full honors, her casket carried by former handmaidens who weep openly for their lost queen and friend. She's buried in a gown that conceals her pregnancy, the official story being that she died before giving birth. It's a necessary lie to protect the twins. If Palpatine or Vader learn the children survived, they'll never stop hunting them. After the funeral, they gather in a secure location to finalize their plans. The twins must be separated for their own protection. If the Empire finds one, the other will still survive. It's a cold calculation, one that makes Ahsoka's stomach turn, but she understands the necessity. These children are too important, too precious to risk together. Luke will go to Tatooine. Obi-Wan is firm on this. To Anakin's stepbrother, Owen Lars, and his wife, Beru. They're good people, simple moisture farmers with no connection to the Jedi or the Force. They'll raise him right, keep him safe, and I'll be nearby, watching from the wastes, ready if he's needed, or if danger comes. And Leia? Bail Organa asks, though they all know what he's about to offer. I'll take her. Raise her as my own daughter on Alderaan. She'll be a princess, a senator, when she's old enough. She'll learn diplomacy, leadership, politics, everything her mother was. And she'll be protected by Alderaan's security, by my position, The Empire won't dare touch her there. You're sure? Ahsoka's voice is careful. This is a massive commitment, a massive risk. If the Empire ever finds out you're harboring Vader's daughter, it will mean your death, possibly your entire planet's destruction, I'm sure. His voice is steady, certain. Padme was my friend, one of my closest allies. I owe it to her memory to protect her daughter, to give her the life Padme would have wanted for her. And besides, he smiles sadly, Breha and I have always wanted a child. This feels like fate. Ahsoka insists on personally delivering Luke to Tatooine. She needs to see him settled, needs to know he's safe, needs to fulfill her promise to Padme. The journey is quiet. Obi-Wan accompanying her but respecting her need for silence. When they land at the Lars moisture farm, Owen and Beru are waiting, their faces showing skepticism and wariness mixed with curiosity. This is Luke, Ahsoka says simply, holding out the infant. Anakin's son, your nephew. We need you to raise him, to keep him safe from the Empire, to give him a normal life away from the Force and the Jedi and everything that destroyed his father. Owen's face hardens at Anakin's name. We heard what he did, what he became. How do we know the boy won't turn out the same way? Because he'll have you. Obi-Wan's voice is gentle but firm. You and Beru, good people who will teach him right from wrong, who will give him the stable, loving home Anakin never had. The Force is strong in him, yes, but the Force doesn't determine destiny. Choice does, and you'll teach him to make the right choices. Beru steps forward, her face softening as she looks at the sleeping infant. He's family. Her voice is simple, final. Family takes care of family. We'll raise him right, keep him safe. She takes Luke carefully from Ahsoka, cradling him against her chest. He won't know about any of this, about the Force or the Jedi or his father's fall. He'll just be Luke, just a boy growing up on a moisture farm. Tell him about his father anyway. Ahsoka's voice is thick with emotion. Not everything, not the darkness, but tell him that Anakin Skywalker was once a great man, a hero, a person who tried to do good even when it was hard. Don't let his father's fall be the only thing that defines him. Owen nods slowly, reluctantly. We'll tell him what he needs to know when he's old enough to understand. Before she leaves Tatooine, Ahsoka stands in the desert for a long moment, feeling the twin suns on her face, the hot wind pulling at her clothes. She reaches out through the Force, searching, and finds Anakin's presence. It's still there, still alive, but twisted beyond recognition. The bond they shared feels corrupted now, tainted by darkness and rage and suffering. She can feel his hatred burning across the galaxy like a star, and she knows a significant portion of that hatred is directed at her. She defeated him, mutilated him, left him to burn. In his mind, twisted by the dark side and Palpatine's teachings, she's just another betrayer. Another person who abandoned him when he needed them most. He'll hunt her for the rest of his life. Hunt her with single-minded determination and endless resources. She'll never be truly safe again. Never be able to stop looking over her shoulder. Never be able to rest, but that's okay. She can live with being hunted if it means the twins are safe. If it means Luke and Leia grow up free from their father's shadow. If it means Padme's sacrifice wasn't in vain. She can carry that burden. she will carry it. For as long as it takes, Ahsoka goes into hiding, but not the comfortable hiding of retirement or exile. She continues to fight, working in the shadows to help those the Empire crushes beneath its boot. But she does it carefully, methodically, never staying in one place too long, never revealing her true identity, never taking unnecessary risks. She can't afford to be caught, can't afford to die. Not when she has a promise to keep. She takes the code name Fulcrum, a term meaning a pivot point or critical support. It's fitting. She becomes the pivot point for early resistance efforts, the critical support that keeps small rebellions alive. She provides intelligence, coordinates, supply runs, helps rescue prisoners, sabotages Imperial operations, always from the shadows, always anonymous. A ghost story whispered among those who resist. And always, always, she keeps her promise to Padmé. She watches over Luke from a distance, never revealing herself but ensuring he stays safe. She coordinates with Bail Organa regularly, getting updates on Leia's progress through encrypted channels. The girl is brilliant, fierce, a natural leader just like her mother. She's already causing trouble in the Senate at 16, speaking out against Imperial overreach, organizing humanitarian efforts, building alliances. Luke is more reserved, more contemplative, but there's a strength in him that reminds her painfully of Anakin. Not the fallen Anakin, but the young man she first met. The hero who would throw himself into impossible situations because it was the right thing to do. That same spirit lives in Luke, tempered by Owen and Beru's steady influence. The years pass slowly in the shadows. The Empire grows stronger, spreading across the galaxy like a disease. The Jedi are systematically hunted to extinction, their temples destroyed, their history erased, their memory transformed into propaganda and lies. Ahsoka survives by being smarter, faster, and more careful than those hunting her. She learns to suppress her Force presence completely, to hide in plain sight, to become invisible. She keeps her promise to Padmé. She watches over Luke from a distance, never revealing herself, but ensuring he stays safe. She coordinates with Bail Organa, getting occasional updates on Leia's progress. The girl is brilliant, fierce, a natural leader just like her mother. Luke is more contemplative, but there's a core of strength in him that reminds her of Anakin at his best. 3 years after Mustafar, she finally acquires her white lightsabers. She tracks down an Inquisitor, one of Vader's dark side assassins, a fallen Jedi twisted into a hunter of his former brothers and sisters. The fight is brutal, but she wins. Barely. She takes his corrupted red kyber crystals, the ones he stole from Jedi he murdered, and spends weeks in deep meditation purifying them. It's a painful process. The crystals are screaming with the anguish and hatred poured into them. She has to heal them, pour her own pain and grief and hope into them, transform them from instruments of darkness into something new. When she's finally done, exhausted and drained, the crystals shine white. Pure white. Not light side, not dark side. Something balanced, something in between. The white blades become her symbol. No longer a Jedi, bound by their rules and restrictions. Not a Sith, consumed by darkness and hate. Something new, something that exists in the spaces between. A gray Jedi, though she doesn't use that term. Just Ahsoka Tano, trying to do what's right in a galaxy that's forgotten what right means. She wields her white blades with pride, using them to protect those who can't protect themselves. And she continues her work as fulcrum, building the early rebellion network piece by piece. It's slow work, dangerous work. Many of her contacts die, captured by Imperial forces or betrayed by informants. Each loss weighs on her, another name added to the list of people she failed to save. But she persists, because that's what you do. You keep fighting even when it seems hopeless. Anakin taught her that, back before he fell. 5 years after Mustafar, she has her first real encounter with Vader. Not a brief sensing through the Force or a distant glimpse, but an actual confrontation. She's on Lothal, helping smuggle refugees off-planet when his Star Destroyer arrives. She feels him before she sees him, that dark presence that used to be her master, now warped into something monstrous. She should run, should use her head start to disappear before he can find her. But something makes her stay. Curiosity, maybe? Or hope? Or the desperate need to see if any trace of Anakin remains beneath the armor and the darkness. She waits on a rooftop while the stormtroopers search below, and eventually, he comes. Darth Vader is terrifying in person. 7 feet of black armor and mechanical breathing, radiating menace and power. His presence in the Force is overwhelming. A black hole that threatens to swallow everything near it. But underneath all that, buried so deep she almost misses it, she feels something familiar. A spark, a fragment, the tiniest echo of Anakin Skywalker. She ignites her white lightsabers, the blades casting light in the darkness. He stops when he sees her, his mask turning to face her directly. His breathing, mechanically assisted, fills the silence between them. When he speaks, his voice is distorted by the mask, deep and inhuman. The apprentice lives. I sensed your presence but dared not hope. You will die for your betrayal on Mustafar, for leaving me to burn, for turning my wife against me, for destroying everything I was. Hello, Master. Her voice is steady despite the fear churning in her stomach. Or should I call you Vader now? Is there anything left of Anakin Skywalker inside that armor? Or is he truly dead? Anakin Skywalker was weak. His mechanical voice carries no emotion. I destroyed him, as I will destroy you. There is no mercy here, no redemption, only justice for your crimes. She feels the Force gather around him, oppressive and dark. Her own Force presence pushes back instinctively, creating a bubble of safety. Justice. You talk about justice after murdering children? After betraying everything you stood for? After trying to kill your own wife while she carried your children? She sees him flinch, just slightly, at the mention of Padme and the children. It's a tiny reaction, barely noticeable, but it's there. Proof that something of Anakin remains, no matter how deeply buried. The children died with her. His voice is flat, but she can hear the pain underneath. You ensured that on Mustafar. You took everything from me, left me with nothing but my hate. The children lived. She doesn't know why she tells him this. It's dangerous, could lead him to search for them, but she needs him to know, needs to see his reaction. Twins, a boy and a girl. Padme gave birth before she died. They're alive, Anakin. Your children are alive and safe where you'll never find them. Vader goes completely still. His breathing, normally steady and mechanical, hitches. She can feel the conflict raging inside him. See it in the way his fists clench and unclench. For a moment, she thinks she's broken through. Then his lightsaber ignites. Red blade humming in the darkness. Liar. My master told me they died with her. You seek to manipulate me with false hope. It won't work. They fight across the rooftop. Lightsabers clashing in the darkness. She's faster, more agile, her white blades weaving patterns of light. But he's stronger. His attacks powered by the dark side and cybernetic enhancement. Each blow she blocks sends shockwaves down her arms. She can't win this fight, can't beat him in direct combat, so she doesn't try. She uses the environment, her superior mobility, everything she learned from fighting him on Mustafar. She stays just out of reach, dancing around his attacks, never letting him pin her down. And she talks, trying to reach whatever's left of Anakin inside the machine. Remember Ryloth? She calls out, flipping over a ventilation shaft. You taught me that day that a Jedi's job is to protect people, not serve politicians. You were right then. You could be right again. Ryloth is ashes. His voice is cold, as you will be. He brings his saber down in an overhead strike that she barely dodges, the blade cutting through Duraplast like paper. What about Mortis? She's breathing hard, sweat dripping down her face. The father, the son, the daughter. Balance. You understood it once. Mortis was a dream, a lie. There is no balance, only power, and those too weak to seek it. But his voice wavers slightly. Uncertainty creeping in. She fights him for what feels like hours, but is probably only minutes. Neither of them landing a decisive blow. Neither of them gaining ground. It's a stalemate, and they both know it. Eventually, she sees her chance. A transport ship taking off from a nearby pad. Its shields just lowering for departure. She uses the Force to leap incredible distances, landing on the ship as it rises. Until next time, Sky Guy. She calls down to him. I'm not giving up on you. I'll never give up on you. The ship accelerates away, disappearing into the night sky. She feels his rage through their bond, feels him reaching for her with the Force, trying to drag the ship back. But she's already too far away. She's escaped. The encounter leaves her shaken for days. Seeing what he's become, what Palpatine has made of him, it's worse than she imagined. The armor, the breathing, the mechanical voice. He's more machine than man now, kept alive by technology and hate. But somewhere inside, buried beneath all that darkness and metal and pain, Anakin Skywalker still exists. She felt him, heard him in the hesitation, the tiny moments of doubt. It gives her hope. Foolish hope maybe, but hope nonetheless. If he's not completely gone, if some part of him survived, then maybe he can be saved. Maybe Padme was right. Maybe there's still good in him, no matter how deeply buried. It becomes her private mission, running parallel to her work with the rebellion, to find a way to reach him, to bring him back from the darkness, to fulfill the promise she made on Mustafar, the one she didn't realize she was making. 10 years after Mustafar, the Rebel Alliance begins to coalesce from the scattered resistance cells she's been supporting. It's exciting and terrifying in equal measure. A real chance to fight back against the Empire, to make a difference. But it also means more risk, more danger, more chances for things to go wrong. She coordinates with Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and other leaders, providing intelligence and strategic advice while remaining anonymous. She thinks about Anakin often during these years, wonders where he is, what he's doing, whether he ever thinks about her. Through their bond, she can feel him sometimes. Usually, it's just darkness and rage and hatred. But occasionally, very rarely, she feels something else. A moment of doubt, a flash of memory, a ghost of the man he used to be. Those moments are what keep her going. 15 years after Mustafar, Luke begins showing signs of Force sensitivity. Owen and Beru try to suppress it, fearful of drawing Imperial attention. But the Force can't be suppressed, not in someone this strong. Ahsoka watches from a distance as the boy inadvertently uses the Force to fix machinery, to sense approaching sandstorms, to react with impossible speed. He doesn't understand what he's doing, thinks he's just lucky or intuitive. But she knows. She can feel his power growing. Leia is different. She's strong in the Force too, maybe even stronger than Luke, but her abilities manifest differently. Enhanced intuition, empathy, the ability to read people and situations with uncanny accuracy. She uses it in the Senate without realizing it, making her a formidable politician and diplomat. At just 19 years old, Bail has trained her well, and Padme would be proud. 18 years after Mustafar, everything changes. A young moisture farmer from Tatooine joins the rebellion after his aunt and uncle are killed by Imperial forces. His name is Luke Skywalker, and he's carrying the lightsaber that belonged to his father. Obi-Wan gave it to him, began training him in the Force before dying at Vader's hands aboard the Death Star. Ahsoka watches from the shadows as Luke destroys the Death Star, as he becomes a hero of the rebellion, as he begins to discover his heritage and his power. She's not ready to reveal herself yet, not ready to explain who she is or what she knows, but she watches. She protects him when she can, quietly, from a distance, making sure he survives long enough to become what the galaxy needs him to be. She watches as he trains himself in the Force, as he grows stronger and more confident. Watches as he faces Vader multiple times, fighting and barely escaping. And she feels something through her bond with Vader that she hasn't felt in nearly 2 decades. Conflict. Real, genuine conflict. The presence of his son. The knowledge that he has family. It's breaking through the darkness, cracking the armor Palpatine built around his heart. 23 years after Mustafar, on the second Death Star, Luke Skywalker does what Ahsoka could not. He redeems his father. Anakin Skywalker returns in the final moments of Vader's life, killing Palpatine and saving his son at the cost of his own life. Ahsoka feels it across the galaxy, feels the exact moment the darkness breaks and the light returns, feels Anakin's presence, truly Anakin's. For the first time since Mustafar, she weeps when she feels him die. Not tears of sadness, but of relief and joy and bittersweet victory. He came back. In the end, he made the right choice. He proved that Padme was right, that there was still good in him, that the man she knew wasn't completely lost. It doesn't erase what he did as Vader, doesn't bring back the people he killed or undo the suffering he caused. But it means something, means everything. Later, after the Battle of Endor, after the celebrations die down, She finally reveals herself. She approaches Luke Skywalker in the ruins of the second Death Star, her white lightsabers on her belt, her face showing every year she's lived in hiding. Luke Skywalker. Her voice is gentle. We need to talk about your father, about your mother, about the promise I made 23 years ago on a volcanic planet called Mustafar. Luke turns to face her, curiosity and wariness mixing on his young face. I'm Ahsoka Tano. I was your father's Padawan before he fell, and I'm the one who left him to burn. They talk for hours. She tells him everything about Anakin before the fall, about the man he was and the hero he could have been, about Padme and her death, about how the twins were hidden to protect them, about Mustafar and the fight, and the impossible choice she had to make, about the years watching from the shadows, protecting him without his knowledge, keeping her promise to a dead senator who begged her to give her children a chance at freedom. Luke listens to all of it, his face grave but understanding. When she finishes, he's quiet for a long moment. Then he speaks, his voice thoughtful. You saved my mother's life that day, and mine and Leia's. You did what you had to do, what anyone would have done, and you kept your promise. We grew up free. We got to choose our own paths. That's worth more than you know. Your father would be proud of you. Ahsoka's voice is thick with emotion. Both of you. You and Leia. You're everything good about him without the darkness. You're what he could have been if he'd made different choices. Padme would be proud too. She smiles through her tears. You fulfilled her dying wish. You found the good in him. You brought him back. You saved him when no one else could. I couldn't have done it without you. Luke's voice is firm. You kept him alive long enough for me to reach him. You gave him reason to doubt, to question, to remember who he was. The conflict I sensed in him, I think you put it there. Years of refusing to give up on him. That mattered. That made the difference. Maybe. She's not sure she believes it, but she wants to. Wants to think her years of hoping weren't wasted. Wants to believe that her refusal to let go of Anakin Skywalker's memory, despite everything Vader did, somehow contributed to his redemption. It's comforting to think so, at least. What will you do now? Luke asks. The war is over. The Empire is falling. You can stop hiding, stop running. You can rest. I don't know. She admits, honestly, I've been hiding for so long I'm not sure I remember how to do anything else. But maybe it's time to start building, instead of just surviving, to help create the galaxy your mother dreamed of, the one your father died to make possible. I'd like that. Luke smiles. And I'd like to know more about my parents, the real story, not the propaganda or the legends. Will you tell me? Will you tell Leia? We deserve to know where we came from, even if it's complicated, even if it hurts. Yes, she nods. I'll tell you everything. The good and the bad, the love and the loss, the hope and the tragedy. You deserve to know your parents as they really were, not as myths or monsters, as people. Flawed, complicated people who loved each other and tried their best, and sometimes failed spectacularly, but people nonetheless. They talk through the night. Ahsoka sharing memories of Anakin and Padme that no one else remembers. The small moments that made them human. The jokes and arguments and tender gestures that got lost in the larger narrative of their tragedy. She tells them about Anakin's terrible piloting that somehow always worked, about Padmé's stubbornness in the Senate, about how they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching. She tells them about the man Anakin was before the fall, the hero who would risk everything for those he loved, the teacher who pushed her to be better, the warrior who fought with passion and precision, the person who understood that rules were important but people were more important. She doesn't hide his flaws, his anger, his fear, his attachment, but she makes sure they understand he was more than just the monster he became. And she tells them about their mother, about Padmé's courage and compassion, about how she fought for democracy even when it was dangerous, about her kindness to everyone regardless of their status, about her unwavering belief in redemption and second chances, about how she loved their father enough to follow him to Mustafar, despite knowing what he'd done, about how her last words were about hope. When she finally finishes, both twins are crying, but they're smiling too, grateful for these glimpses of parents they never knew. Luke thanks her, his voice thick with emotion. Leia, whom Ahsoka meets shortly after, embraces her tightly and makes her promise to stay in their lives, to be the connection to their parents that they've never had. Ahsoka agrees, feeling something she hasn't felt in decades. Not quite peace, but close. Purpose without desperation. Hope without despair. The burden she's carried since Mustafar feels lighter somehow. She kept her promise, protected the twins, helped them grow up free. And, in the end, they did what she couldn't. They saved their father's soul. The galaxy begins to heal slowly. The new republic rises from the Empire's ashes. It's not perfect, not even close, but it's better. It's a chance. And that's all anyone can ask for, really. A chance to do better, to learn from the past without being chained by it, to build something new on the ruins of what came before. Ahsoka helps where she can, sharing her knowledge and experience. She trains Luke and other Force sensitives, passing on what she learned from the Jedi, while warning them away from the Order's mistakes. She works with Leia in the Senate, providing historical context and strategic advice. She becomes a bridge between eras, a living link to the Republic and Jedi that came before. But she never forgets Mustafar. Never forgets the day she had to choose between saving her master and saving his family. Never forgets the sight of Anakin burning at the edge of a lava river, screaming her name. Never forgets Padmé's broken expression or the weight of Leia in her arms. Those memories don't fade with time. If anything, they become sharper, more painful, impossible to ignore. She visits Padmé's grave on Naboo sometimes. Late at night, when no one else is around, she tells the senator about her children, about how amazing they turned out, about how they saved the galaxy and redeemed their father. She apologizes for not being able to save Anakin on Mustafar, even though she knows Padmé wouldn't blame her. She promises to keep watching over Luke and Leia, even though they're adults now and don't need her protection anymore. And sometimes, when she's alone and the weight of memory becomes too much, she reaches out through the Force to the place where Anakin's presence used to be. It's empty now. Has been since he became one with the Force on the Death Star. But she swears sometimes she can still feel him. A warmth, a presence, a sense of peace that wasn't there before. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's wishful thinking. She doesn't know and doesn't really care. It's enough to believe that somewhere in the Force, Anakin Skywalker is at peace, that he's with Padme, that they're watching over their children together. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.